What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, undefeated, lightweight, star, contender, title contender, prospect, Olympian, however you so choose to look at him, KEYSHAWN Davis, who is 7 wins, no losses, no draws, 5 wins by way of knockout. He is 24 years of age, 5'8", 5'9", with a 70-inch arm reach. KEYSHAWN Davis, recently, he sparked some racial tension within the sport of boxing because there's a double standard with the racial tension in the sport of boxing. So KEYSHAWN Davis, he decided to go to his social media and let the world know that in the highly anticipated lightweight showdown between undefeated 3-division world champion, former WBA super featherweight world champion, WBA regular world champion, lightweight regular world champion, WBA junior welterweight world champion, superstar boxer GERVONTA Davis, who has a record of 28 wins, no losses, no draws, 26 big wins by way of knockout. He is 28 years of age, 5'5" with a 67-inch arm reach, as he takes on undefeated lightweight, junior welterweight, Mexican superstar title contender, King Ryan Garcia, who has a record of 23 wins, no losses, no draws, 19 wins by way of knockout. He is 24 years of age, 5'10" with a 70-inch arm reach. With that said, Ryan Garcia is a Mexican-American fighter. GERVONTA Davis is an African-American fighter. KEYSHAWN Davis is an African-American fighter. So KEYSHAWN Davis, he took to his social media and he says this, quote, "At the end of the day, I'm staying with my people. Tank, get this dub," right? And that sparked a complete outrage, racial outrage in the sport of boxing and towards KEYSHAWN Davis on his Twitter. And then he doubled back and doubled down and stated that, at the end of the day, he's about culture and he's standing with his people as he should, right? And people have an issue with this. And here's where the double standards lie. Because you see Mexican fighters, past and present, when a Mexican fighter is fighting, nobody has an issue when the Mexican fighter, former fighter, current fighter, or fan says that they're choosing the Mexican fighter solely because he's Mexican, right? Nobody had an issue when 4-division world champion, superstar boxer, who is widely considered by many to be the face of the sport of boxing, is the undisputed super middleweight world champion in Saul Canelo Alvarez, who stated that he no longer wanted to compete against Mexican fighters because it's not a good look for his culture and what he stands for and for his people. So he didn't want to compete. Canelo Alvarez is a Mexican fighter. He didn't want to compete against any more Mexican fighters because it goes against what he stands for and for his people. So he didn't want to go against them. And none of this outrage was at this height, right? I didn't see a bunch of Mexican fans. Now, there was some, but not a bunch of Mexican fans came out and stated, well, Canelo Alvarez is being racist, right? But now you have, because KEYSHAWN Davis says that he's going to stand with his fighters, the fighters that look like him, now there's a racial outrage, right? Again, like I said, there's so many numerous occasions, there's so many examples where you have a Mexican fighter fighting in a massive fight and they do predictions and they go, do interviews and they interviewing past Mexican fighters, world champions, current world champions, so on and so forth. And they say, well, they're standing with their countrymen. And nobody has an issue with it. But KEYSHAWN Davis says that he's standing with his culture and the people that look like him. And now there's a fake outrage, right? Because when African-American athletes, not just boxers, when African-American athletes band together and stand together in unity, that's a threat. That's a sign of, some sort of a threat towards everybody else. When there's unity amongst the African-American culture or just black people in general, right? That's frowned upon. But when you get other cultures wanting to stand with each other, that's celebrated, right? It's okay for a Mexican fighter If a Mexican fighter came out and said, "Oh, I got to stand with my countrymen," in Ryan Garcia, or Oscar De La Hoya, Mexican American, or Canelo Alvarez, or Gilberto Ramirez, or Leo Santa Cruz, if past and present fighters come out and say, "Well, I'm standing with my countrymen," nobody's going to frown upon it. But the moment an African American athlete or boxer says that they're going to stand with their culture and their people, it's an outrage, right? You have to go to this tweet and see the tweets, the replies that was set there. One guy even went as far as to say, well, Mexican fighters have been running African American fighters, black fighters, out the sport of boxing recently, in recent time, right? And then he pointed out a few fights, right? He pointed out a few fights where Mexican fighters had beaten African American fighters, right? Which was no big fights, okay? Because for the most part, African American fighters, let's be real, have dominated the sport of boxing. It just is what it is, right? So when you look at this, it's absolutely disgusting, and there should be no place for this in the sport of boxing, but yet it is. And nobody frowns upon it because at the end of the day, right, it's only seen as negative, again, when an African American athlete does it. It's not seen as a negative, right, when anybody else does it. It's only when an African American fighter says such things. That's when it's frowned upon. It's a shame. It's disgusting, right? And the comments that I read following this is terrible. Terrible, right? You had somebody come out and say, what do you mean your people, right? It's just absolutely disgusting. It is. It's just, there's no place for this. There's no place for African Americans can't band together and stand together within the sport of boxing. It's terrible. So there's a fake outrage now because KEYSHAWN Davis is saying that at the end of the day, he's riding with Gervonta Tank Davis. You even had people trying to cause division, and people were saying, I thought you don't even like Gervonta Tank Davis. I thought you stand with Shakur Stevenson, trying to cause division. It's terrible. But drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDS